think outside the box, if you will. I mean, go there, go off campus. Let's think this through. And sure enough, that's where the Mustang was born. When it finally hit, it took the country by storm.
Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Cars in Context. I'm your host, John Clor. This is the Motor City and this is the show where we put cars into the context of your everyday life. No, we're not at the WMTV studios. We're here on Harper Avenue for the East Side's annual Harper Charity Cruise, the Kiwanis Club Cruise, known by many here across the East Side. Today we have with us none other than Chris Sawyer. Chris, welcome. Hey,
hi, Jeff.
Chris, you've been working out. You're looking good.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
How much do I owe you for
$5 later
Okay,
on.
we'll get it later.
We go down to the National, Coney Island.
Hey,
So,
I'm
guys,
Triumph.
That's right.
Wow,
We're here
we
to
got
cover the East Side Cruise because we guys, you know, we're car boys, right?
We can't help it.
We can't help it. And we
It's a disease.
want you to get into this car realm by just understanding some of the lovely machines we have out here today. And we want you to come out every year. This is the East Side's really the best cruise. It's like a hometown cruise for East Siders.
Very much so. You know, the Woodward cruise is the big cruise. It brings everybody out, brings the companies up, but this is the one that's comfortable.
Yeah.
Because it's still the right size and it's everybody just pulling out their stuff and they got in the garage.
That's right. It happens on a Wednesday night. It's after work. It's a great time to go out and get your favorite ride, roll down the windows, and come out here to Harper. Yeah, it's mostly in St. Clair Shores, but guess what, folks? This is, for me, probably the most fun of the summer. Like Chris said, Woodward's so big, this is really kind of fun. We're going to take you into this Harper Cruise a little bit, talk about some of the cars, and about the kind of the cruising phenomenon, and why, Chris, I think it's bigger now than it's ever been.
Well, there's a good reason for that. You know, especially when times are down and people aren't feeling good. This is a thing that they get out, they can celebrate their cars and makes them happy.
A little bit of enjoyment.
And I love it because all those environmentalists who thought that $4 a gallon gas is going to slow us down.
Yeah.
Heck with you people.
We're just going to pay more to have fun, and that's what we're going to do tonight. So we hope you can buckle up now and join us for some of this fun. We're going to start picking out some cars. We want you to sit back and relax, grab a cold one, and we'll bring the Harper Cruise right to you in your living room. So, Chris, when you look at the cruise...
And remember, when we get the cars wrong, send your emails to jclor@carsincontext.com.
So, speaking of the show, Cars in Context, there's a lot of great pride in my ride out here.
Oh, absolutely. I've been here for a little while, and I've been amazed at what I've been seeing because some of these cars are extremely well done.
Yeah.
I mean, better than anything that you would see out in Monterey. The bodywork is amazing.
Yeah, it's run once you're brung, and there are some cars that are just junkers and primer all the way
I
up to
saw
$100,000
that Corvette
rough.
that's hiding behind that Ford over there on Woodward last week or so, and so
Custom
some of these
load,
cars are making their way in.
These guys, you can tell, they have a few
There's
dollars.
a lot
in
of
the car.
money in that car, let me tell you.
They want to show it off. That's what it's all about, folks. When you have a car, why hide it in the garage? Why store it with a cover over it? Let us all enjoy it. Bring
if
it
you're
up
not using it, you might as well sell it.
That's right. What's it for? Unless you want to drive it, enjoy it. A lot of people just like to collect them, like a coin collection, and privately look at them by themselves. No fun.
No fun at all because they're cars. They're not art. They are artwork, but they're moving artwork.
That's right. And let us see some of this nostalgia. Now, for me, we've talked about it before, folks. A lot of people like to come out here in their minivans and their pickup trucks with the lawn chairs in the back. Not quite the cruise crowd.
No.
What we're looking for...
They're more looking for a tailgate party, I think.
And, I guess I'm okay with you folks that have a brand new muscle car, Challenger, Camaro, a Mustang or something. Okay, maybe a Viper, a Corvette. I'm okay with that. But really, it's for the classics. Even if it's well, don't you think? I mean,
it is, but you see a lot of people out here who are just coming home from work and they're enjoying themselves.
Yeah, okay.
Because they're running around. Oh, look at this Falcon over there. Wow. Second body style, first chassis.
Yep.
Good Lord, that thing.
The Ford Falcon, a lot of people don't know, is the precursor, the reason why we have a Mustang.
Sitting right next to the Screaming Chicken Burt Reynolds Trans Am.
You know, Burt and Sally Field made that crazy movie possible with their
Smokey and the
Bandit.
Yep.
And you know, I got to tell you, Hollywood sold a lot of those cars for Pontiac.
Absolutely, because there's no other way you'd be able to sell a car with a big screaming chicken on it.
Ford's response was to put a screaming snake on the King Cobra.
Yeah, that was pretty lame.
4,000 cars got out the door before they stopped that.
And hey, how about a Barbie pink stretched Hummer
Okay.
H2
You know,
limousine?
all right, Hummers are collectibles. The Hummer limousine probably more so, but
They're tough to park,
yeah,
especially parallel.
you need the backup.
It'd be easier to do the bus that's coming up the street.
This is the one time, folks, I would agree with the backup camera.
Yeah.
The rest
Or,
of-
or the only place to put it is on the aircraft carrier.
yeah, that thing. I kind of like the idea that you can bring trucks out. They're part of the.
They're part of the whole thing. In fact, they've grown in popularity over the years as the pickup truck market has grown. You're seeing an awful lot of really sweet late 40s, early 50s pickups down here now that we didn't have last year.
No.
And they're coming out, and some of the body work, some of the paint work is amazing.
Well, when you think about some of the cars that you want to fix up, you don't just normally go to a truck. They were farm implements, but now these things are bringing in big dollars. They're kind of fun.
Big money, big money, and they're beautifully done. One of the guys had a 48 Ford, beautiful blue, and you could barely hear it because of the whoompada, whoompada,
Yeah.
whoompada, whoompada. And he did all the work himself, and he said, well, you know, I didn't feel so good about it because it took me so long to do it. And I said, really, how long was that? 2 years?
Yeah.
I almost cried.
Yeah.
I'm the 24th year of restoring my car.
I had my car in boxes for almost 8 years before I even got anybody to look at it.
And how long did if you got all the
more-
boxes open?
Yeah, 2 more years later, it's still just barely put together. Folks, that's the joy of collecting an old car like that old Chevy. Oh my gosh, a Bel Air. It's a 2-door post, but you know what? It's just as cool. Looks
That's
like it's
right.
got a little bit of engine work in it.
Yeah.
I think the
that
fat tires.
big dump in front of the tires would do
Yeah,
it too.
a little
yeah.
bit of a giveaway. They don't usually run the old technology. Motorcycles. I was going to ask you about motorcycles. Do they have a place in the cruise?
Yeah, they do.
Oh.
I mean, we're seeing more of them, and coming up and down. Not so much the sport bikes,
Yeah.
but there is two really sweet Harleys running around here. One that's done fully in the 50s colors.
Right.
It's beautiful red and white. And there's another one that is a modern bike, but it's done to look like a 50s bobber.
See?
And it's all done in various shades of flat black.
So not only cars in context, there's some bikes in context out here as well?
Yes.
Good to know.
And there's even Carmen Diaz with German license plates on the front.
You know, how do you drive around with a German? Of course, Michigan doesn't have a front license plate law, so you can put that on the front of your car.
No,
right?
and it's really funny because a friend of mine was in Texas once and got pulled over for speeding, and they wanted to pop him for not having a front plate. He goes, we
I'm
don't
from
have to have
Michigan.
it in Michigan. He goes, we'd have to have them in Texas. He goes, but I'm not from Texas.
Not from these parts.
Exactly.
And if you're from St. Clair Shores, any of the Grosse Points, Harper Woods, any of the East Side communities, this Harper Kiwanis Cruise is the place to be. I mean, where else can you see modern old muscle cars, you know, 80s era cars, and then the fat boys from the 50s, the fat rods. Those
Oh, I
are the,
thought you were talking about me. I'm from the
No,
50s and I'm a sort of a fat boy, but okay.
well, you see those guys too. You notice a lot of the people along the sidelines, Chris, are a lot of boomers. I think they're really enjoying
Is that a
the show.
56 vet over there? 50,
You know, those the
56, 57, 58 went to the
The
duels.
most fantastic thing is getting that vet grill with all those teeth in it.
Mhm.
To me,
Well, that's what they copied for the C7.
right.
Went back to
right.
that.
They always, that's some of the nostalgia. You know, why is it that automakers style their cars to these little cues that we know and understand as boomers? I mean, what does it mean to a millennial?
They remember the cars though, and that, you know, because we remembered them, we sort of bored them to death when we were older.
Told them all about them.
And they see it and they go, oh, hey, you know,
Yeah,
it's,
now I see
it's
it.
the real thing.
You know, classic design, folks, is timeless. So if you have a really great design car, it'll look as good in 2015 as it
we
did
have
in
got
1950.
coming up here a baby blue 67, I want to say,
Oh, yeah.
Continental convertible, and on the other side of it is a red, I want to say 57, maybe
These are
not,
two-
hard to say.
Well, 50s and 60s convertible. Look at the difference in
Yeah.
the 50s and 60s. Look, that baby blue Continental, suicide door, 4-door, a la
Yep.
the Kennedy car.
Yep.
The car was so elegant. I mean, the lines on the car are so clean. Yeah, this
That's
thing.
an Imperial.
that is an Imperial.
Is it?
No, sir.
No, it's not.
It's a Dodge.
I can't read it.
Yeah.
You
The
know?
big
So
gangster whites.
send your emails
Yeah, that's
to
it.
jclor@carsandcontext.com.
Wait a minute. What about Chris Sawyer at thevirtualdriver.com?
No, because it would have to be Chris Sawyer
Okay.
at thevirtualdriver.com.
Well, thanks for spilling the beans.
Then they can tell me how stupid I am.
Well, that's, folks, we like
I
that
just
you're
got
spot-
off an airplane, folks. Come on.
A lot of these, that's right. A lot of these guys are spotters, and they just love to see the old stuff. But for me, I like the mix. For me, the cruise is part of the people. I mean, you see, you know, the people are there.
Well, you see the people who own them, and you see the pride that's in these cars, and they want you to. It's not like they're narcissistic and, oh, look at me. They want you to enjoy it as much as they. Oh, look at this Buick wagon.
Now that is a Roadmaster, right? It's got a Woody. Now those,
Yeah.
now those were.
I'm sorry.
Those weren't wood.
Oh, it is
wag-
a Woody.
No, that was not real wood, was
No,
it?
that
was the
was,
metal. Yeah.
Yep, that was the painted metal.
That was the Steely.
And then we've got coming
Wow,
down
very
there is,
cool.
I want to
Very
say,
cool.
is a Chrysler
Well,
product.
you know, when you look at those big, that is
no,
really
no, I
rare.
take that back. That might be another.
Could it be a Willys?
No,
No.
no.
Jeez, these are awesome. We're just.
You know, we should have stayed on the other side. I could be able to
Who
read
rolled that out?
That could be a Buick.
That's a Buick. Yeah, who rolled that out of their garage?
Well, you know, that's the thing.
Who would know that car
You would
exists?
never know that car was out here except for this.
She's got a
There-
40 Zero Buick. Come on.
I think so.
Yeah,
And then we've got, you know, of course we got the V-dubs that are out here.
I like them all. You know, they're all part. If you had any kind of Beetle, it's all part of the '60s scene. You know, especially.
Nice CUDA on the other side there, and the other side of the F-150.
You know what's big out here? You know, a lot of people say East Side's got the best mix because some people
funny,
have
you know, it's-
Chrysler and Ford. And
That's true, but it's also because there's sort of this dichotomy that's going on as you're sort of melding the east and the west side of town. You've got the guys who are more into the sport and luxury and the guys who are always into drag racing.
Right.
And it sort of meets here.
I-
And you see a really weird mix of the two.
I like the mix. I mean, because it's not all one brand.
Absolutely. There are a couple of Mercedes running down here, vintage Mercedes. We've got a, yes, indeed, I think that is, yep, there's a Rolls, no, that's a Bentley over there.
No, come on. You know, that counts to me. There's a Jag convertible to go by. I mean, this is all part of the love that we still have. You know, Chris, we've done shows that America's lost its love affair with the car.
Absolutely not. In fact, I was reading a study this morning real quickly before I came out here, talking about millennials and all of that and what do they want. And the funny thing was, you look at them, which do you need most, your phone or your car? Well,
Right.
the phone for them was higher than the car. But when
Wow.
you start drilling down farther, it's like, what do you want to have in your life? And the first thing was car, house.
Yeah, you can't drive your phone to work.
Absolutely. And
maybe-
besides, the phone keeps ringing and people want you with the car, you can get away from them.
Now, does everybody?
Oh,
Yeah.
my, nice tea.
Does every single person in the world get to work from home? I think not.
I do.
Well, you do, but a lot of people don't have bunny slippers jobs, and they need to be able to get to work. The cars are a way to be still.
And even
mobility is
so,
important.
even if you are working at home and you've got your nest egg and all the rest, buy one and enjoy it.
Yeah.
They're
You know, folks, this is the cruise is a reason why this whole autonomous car thing. This would be as much fun as watching your Lionel train go around the
look
track.
at this. We have got the Camaro, and on the other side of the Camaro is a baby blue Javelin. Behind the Javelin is an Avanti.
Now there's a car that really.
There's the car that would never die.
That's
It was started as a Studebaker, and it far outlived the company.
Now there's an old saying, hey, does that car have a cam in it? And of course my answer to that is, why, of course it does. How else would it run?
Yeah, the valves would move.
So don't ask that question. All right, folks, let's look back now. I know we think about when we did the Harper Cruise last year. If you want to go catch it, it's on YouTube, Cars in Context TV, and catch that cruise. And kind of notice the difference this year. Not only are we just looking at the Ride Perfection Center, Mike Ferrari and the gang, and Jimmy and everybody works on my old cars here at Ride Perfection.
I knew you didn't do it.
No.
I knew it.
Look at you. Your hands this beautiful.
Those hands were too soft. They were just much too soft.
Yeah.
That's
But
why,
these guys,
that's why you were so popular in prison. But anyway.
it's a whole other thing. This is why you always, the one thing you need if you have an old car is either a friend who's a great mechanic, you learn the mechanic skills yourself, or a great shop that'll help you out when you get in a bind. And for the guys that Ride
Or you're
Perfection.
like me, you need an older brother who's an engineer.
Well, that's
And then
true.
you need something to be able to get him to come over to your house, so you remember all those things he did to you when you were younger and use them against him.
My brother said he was an engineer, but he came over with a Lionel hat on.
Ooh,
Yeah, wrong kind of
that's the
engineer.
wrong type.
So I'm thinking now when you come out on these kinds of shows, you see people in their lawn chairs, you see kids on bikes, You see everybody strolling around. It's like, it's better than a car show because it's rolling.
It's a rolling car show,
The
absolutely.
rolling part makes it fun. You get to actually hear them. They're not static, you know,
Oh
and you
my
get to see
God.
some of the reasons why we got excited.
There you go, a turbo Trans
Now
Am.
there's one for sale, an official pace car.
Remember taking one of those home from out a week when it was snowing? That was fun.
You know, we did get those cars. The turbos were always very difficult. You know,
And they were faster than the V8s.
people are all waving. They're all your friends. That's right. They were faster. You know, it's like
Way faster.
folks. That's why it's so much fun to see the sprinkle of all the different stuff. What do people collect? No, you don't have to have what everybody else has.
No,
I think
absolutely
that's,
not.
in fact, if you have what nobody else has, it's kind of fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now, one guy told me, Chris, that don't try to confuse rare with desirable.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, AMC Pacers are rare, but doesn't mean they're desirable.
Well, I got to tell you, folks, if you have,
And there is a gremlin running around here, by the way.
that's my point. If you do have the rare but not desirable cars, we want to see those too.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the AMC Pacer, they're all waving at Cars in Context. Watch us on WMTV. Yeah.
Please.
Yes. No, that's the fun part. I like the cars.
And then we have the traditional hot rod, the 30 Ford.
You know,
Beautiful
put
blue
a
on
small
that.
block in it. You
Yeah.
put the baby moon hubcaps
And whatever
on
you
it.
do not put a Chevy engine in that thing. I will come to your house and I will yell at you.
I know what you're going to say. It's cheaper to put a Chevy in a Ford, but don't do it. Don't do it. Put a Chevy in your Chevy, a Dodge in your Dodge, and a Ford in your Ford. 'Cause,
Absolutely.
you know, I know we're going to be considered purists.
No,
it's
but
not about what's cheaper. It's what's more true, what's more genuine.
Keeping the DNA right.
That's right.
Oh, Boss 302 coming up the road.
Grab-
1970.
Grabber Blue. Grabber Blue. Everyone loves to be on Cars in Context on WMTV.
Everybody wants to be on TV.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, oh, the Marauder guys. We know those guys. A police car on steroids.
Yes, those were fun.
Well, you know,
Those were fun.
Why
And it's following an Omni GLH Turbo.
now, what is wrong with that picture? Doesn't make
I
any
bet
sense.
you the Omni's quicker.
Grabber Blue, Boss 302.
Whoa,
Boy, when Parnelli
yeah.
Jones won Trans Am, it sure set Ford's fan base on fire. Nothing like, you know, those cars are actually hard to drive. You're down in them, the clutches are stiff, there's manual steering, no air. I mean, those weren't luxury cars.
No, everybody has much better memories of them than they really were.
Yeah, now, Chris, we've...
But they were fast. They were the fastest
it's
ones,
all,
and they handled
it's
well.
all that it's about. Thunderbirds, to me, another great car. I just love old Thunderbirds, the big Chryslers, Imperials that you never get to see.
The
Imperials.
land yachts, especially.
Yeah, what about the land? Remember, folks, that was what we were supposed to be all about. America's all about these big, gigantic beings. I like fins. Do you like fins?
Yes, but I like them taken off before they serve the fish.
So he'll be up at Fish Bones, making sure that he gets his fish. Well, guys, you really have to come out here to really understand. Yeah, okay, you're going to smell a little exhaust fumes.
And smell some really high octane fuel in
Yeah,
some
okay,
cases.
that's true. That's true. But you're going to see this great mix. You would have to watch 2,000 episodes of Cars in Context to see the cars on Pride My Ride, just to see what you hear in just an hour.
That's right, absolutely. And why aren't these people writing us with their pride and their ride, for goodness sakes?
Every one of these people. Look at this guy over here. I mean, I love brass era cars. I love them.
Absolutely.
Any
and,
kind
and for all of those millennials just sitting there going, oh, it's too old, I don't care. Take the time to learn about them. They're really neat cars.
What's going to happen to you 50 years from now? You're going to be driving your Volt and your Prius.
You're going to be
car show.
old and gassy too.
Yeah, that's right. And you're not going to be so thin, and your hair is going to be kind of thinning out on top. And you're saying, I shouldn't have made fun of those two guys on Cars in Context back in 2014.
And you two will be saying, in my day.
Yeah, cars weren't loud back then. My Prius sounds like a vacuum cleaner. Well,
Your kids will be rolling their eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But folks, this is what it's all about. It's still a connection with the machines that take us where we want to go in life.
Absolutely.
And what is wrong with the idea that you have an attraction for this machine? I mean,
As long as it's not a natural attraction, you're okay.
if you don't have any medical problems with your car, I think that's good. But what I'm looking at now, Chris, there's a phenomenon known in the industry, especially on late model Mustangs and Camaros, known as the Lambo doors.
The scissor door, yep.
Yeah.
Well, I got a real quick story about that. I got a really good friend at GM who told me that during the bailout, one of the Washington accountants came in and he would not leave the Corvette group alone. He kept saying, I know how to double sales. I know how to double sales. And finally they said, yeah, what? You need to put those Lambo doors on it.
No.
It'll double sales overnight. And they're looking at him like, okay, is this a joke? He
No.
was dead serious.
He's from the government.
He was the government. He knew better. So this went on week after week after week, and finally they had to do a study, a fake study that said if the car rolled over, the doors wouldn't be able to open. We can't do it.
Beautiful.
And they finally got him to shut up. But here you go. Here's a dichotomy.
Yes,
we've got the khaki
Army truck.
the khaki pickup truck, followed by a two-tone Fairmont.
A two-tone Fairmont.
We've got a
sedan,
Pontiac
too.
Vibe behind it, and
It's
behind and to the right of the Vibe is a Rolls-Royce Corniche convertible.
Now, how can that be possible? They shouldn't be on the same street together.
Well, that shows you that the people are coming from wider than the local area, and I think that's great.
And the guys behind the
And behind that, there's a Charger.
Grandpa's in his Chrysler minivan.
Or Challenger.
Taking pictures with his cell phone. And behind him are two kids on mini bikes.
What?
See,
Yeah?
It doesn't get. Oh, they're doing wheelies too.
But mini bikes were the thing in the
back,
60s.
You kids don't remember
Honestly,
this back
oh
in the
my
day?
God, that is an interesting
And that's a
two-tone on that
two-tone,
Rolls Royce.
purple tan two-tone.
It didn't come from the factory like that. I can guarantee it.
If it did, that was from HGTV.
If
It was a giveaway car.
No, I think it was more from logo.
Well, we got one of the rare fastback Chargers, early Chargers.
Yes.
A 440 in that monster. Of course, he's dropped it down on the ground, put the classic Krager wheels on him.
Yes, but coming down the road, we have the Volare-based one. That's
Now, Chris,
remember when all of the performance went out of it, as everybody was chasing fuel economy, everybody had to downsize quickly.
could you sing us a bar from Volare?
I could, but they'd probably yank me off TV for good after
We're
that.
not going to have any karaoke on Cars and
No,
Content.
no.
But the Volare, they turned that.
The Roadrunner.
They turned
Oh,
the
God, I
Volare coupe
remember
into.
that.
Remember? Because
Yeah.
they made the Aspen and Volare. They had
Yes.
to have a basis for the Roadrunner. They had outrageous scoops. The graphics were crazy, like all 70s.
And
Like
they had no power whatsoever.
well, they had like 150 horsepower out of their V8s. But that, folks, is because why? Because your friendly EPA said we're going to legislate performance,
And they pushed it as hard as they could.
And they won it.
Didn't give them time to catch up. And we had a lot of cars that didn't drive very
Yeah,
well.
engineers couldn't do it.
The electronics weren't there
yeah,
yet.
It took. You can't legislate.
And we all know that
engineering.
from those people who watch the History Channel too, that they think that it's alien technology. But I'm here to
Speaking
say
of aliens, a Maverick grabber.
yes.
First of all, in today's society, you couldn't say the word grabber. But
Oh, a
back
bullet
then-
bird.
A bullet bird. Oh,
Bullet bird and a
what's
sedan delivery.
Beautiful red bullet bird with the big whites.
I like
Now
the
he's working
sedan
on a
delivery.
sedan delivery. He's getting the body cherried out.
Either that
That's
or
okay.
he's saying, you know what? That's the look I want.
This is how she, or this is how she is. Enjoy it the way she is. That's that can be perfectly fine as well.
There are people out there who are painting in the rust spots and then clear coating it. Wonderful
Folks,
job
it's
here.
not about burnouts and showing power. It's just about rolling a piece of art, enjoying this little parade, if you will. You guys that come out here and they want the water burnouts and they want to get crazy and do wheelies.
This
it's
is not
about,
the place for it.
Take that to the drag strip.
Absolutely.
There are kids out here. We want to be safe, but we want to have fun, sure. And we're appreciating that your cars are so powerful.
What this really needs, though, is this needs a couple of areas where some of these cars can pull off, park, people can look at them, they can
Okay.
get back into the stream of things.
Now wait a
It'd be
minute.
Great.
Are we seeing beauty queens?
Miss Teen St. Clair Shores and Little Miss St. Clair Shores.
Wow, how about that? Well, they're the beauty queens. And I hope you guys
And
have
Miss
seen.
St. Clair.
That, of course, is a great horn.
Yes, it is, and I'm deaf in that ear again.
Of course, I want to ask that guy where he got that so I can put it on Jenny's Pinot station wagon.
There's Miss St. Clair Shores.
Miss St. Clair Shores.
I like Little Miss
Thanks.
St. Clair Shores because I think she knows Little Miss Muffet.
Did you sit on a tuffet?
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm still trying to find out what a tuffet is.
Or curd in a way.
Well,
I know what I weigh. It's not good. A couple of Buick Special convertibles.
Oh,
my.
wow.
A Skylark.
You know
a
what that
Corvair
Skylark
convertible.
is worth?
Oh my gosh.
And a special.
And a DeLorean. Where do you see all that?
Yes, and the DeLorean is being driven by an older version of Marty McFly.
Looks like them. No, I'm just kidding. Folks, if you actually want to see more of the cruising that you're going to get in our show, there's one thing you needed to do. Get off your duff and come on
And
out
come
here.
down here, yeah.
Bring a chair, plop it on the grass just about anywhere.
Look in the local paper, find out when it is every year. Come on out, you won't be
It's
disappointed.
always on a Wednesday in late August. You guys can come out here. You'll see this kind of stuff. We just want to give you a taste of that. That's a Comet. Could it be
Yes.
a 390? It sounds like a small block to me. It's got a little bit of low.
That's not the standard motor.
Yeah,
There's a 67, 427 Fairlane rolling
Wow.
around out here.
That's what my grandfather should have had.
And there you go, Galaxy convertible 65.
Yeah, love those. And there was one
And
for
it's
sale
got the
up here.
fender skirts too.
Guys,
I love it.
If this doesn't get your blood boiling about cars,
You're
then
dead.
You need to change the channel now and go back to Housewives of Orange County. But for us, we're running out of time, Chris. We have to sign off already. This was a half
Really?
hour. Yeah, can you imagine?
Why don't we just do 2 shows and the heck with it?
I think you're right. Make sure you call into the War Memorial. Tell them we need more car shows. We love that stuff. Did you have a good time already today? Already?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I think next time we're going to have to just start a little earlier and last a little later. How about a 2-hour special from the Kiwanis Club Harper Cruise?
That sounds good. Good
Right.
idea.
Folks, that was Chris Sawyer of thevirtualdriver.com. You can catch Chris on his blog anytime. You can also, if you have a question for me, an idea for a show, where you want us to go, you want to send in pride in your ride, if you have one of these great cars, send it to me. Clor at carsandcontext.com, and we'll be sure to put it on the air. Or you can watch us on the YouTube channel, Cars and Context TV. And again, just remember, amongst all this car love, that knowledge is power. Until next time, I'm your host, John Clor. Thanks for watching. Take it away, cool cars.